The mission was supposed to be straightforward: infiltrate the enemy compound, retrieve the intelligence package, extract before dawn. But when Lieutenant Commander Jake Morrison's SEAL team reached the observation point overlooking their target, they found something that changed everything. 7 sniper positions, Morrison whispered into his radio, studying the compound through his scope. All elevated, overlapping fields of fire. They're covering every approach. This isn't random security. Someone knew we were coming. His team was pinned 300 meters from their objective. 7 enemy snipers had transformed what should have been an easy infiltration into an impossible task. Move toward the compound, and you'd be in at least 3 snipers' kill zones simultaneously. Reaper 1, this is Overwatch, Command responded. Can you neutralize the snipers? Morrison looked at his team. 8 SEALs, all excellent shooters, but they were down in the valley while the snipers had elevation and concealment. Any attempt to engage would alert the entire enemy force and compromise the mission. Negative, Overwatch, too many snipers in hardened positions. We're standing by for alternate extraction. That's when a new voice cut into the frequency. Calm, professional, with a hint of Texas drawl. Reaper 1, this is Ghost 3. I've got eyes on all 7 sniper positions. Give me 12 minutes and the path will be clear. Morrison had no idea who Ghost 3 was. The mission briefing hadn't mentioned sniper support, but command came back immediately. Reaper 1, stand by and let Ghost 3 work. For the next 12 minutes, the SEAL team watched something that would be analyzed in sniper training courses for years to come. 7 enemy snipers, each in fortified positions, each vigilant and professional, eliminated one by one with such precision and stealth that none of them ever knew they were being hunted. When the last sniper fell and the compound lay open for infiltration, Morrison keyed his radio. Ghost 3, Reaper 1, who the hell are you? The response was simple. Someone who doesn't like it when good guys can't do their jobs. You're clear to proceed. I'll maintain Overwatch. What the SEALs didn't know was that Staff Sergeant Talia Cooper had been watching that compound for 3 days from a hide position 1,000 meters away, documenting enemy patterns and waiting for her own mission to begin. What they were about to discover was that sometimes the most dangerous person on the battlefield is the one the enemy never knows exists, until it's far too late. Before I show you how one sniper systematically eliminated 7 enemy sharpshooters in 12 minutes and enabled a mission everyone thought was impossible, drop a comment telling us where in the world you're watching from and hit subscribe, because this story proves that precision, patience, and skill can turn impossible odds into mission success. Now let's get into it. 3 days earlier, Staff Sergeant Talia Cooper had been lying motionless in her hide position for 6 hours when the sun finally dipped below the horizon. 6 hours without moving more than her eyes, barely breathing, becoming part of the rocky outcrop that concealed her position 1,000 meters from the enemy compound. Most people couldn't stay still for 6 minutes. Talia had trained herself to stay motionless for 6 hours, then do it again the next day, and the day after that. At 29, she'd spent 8 years as a Marine Corps scout sniper, the last 4 in a specialized reconnaissance unit that operated in places and situations that never made it into official reports. She was one of 3 female snipers in her unit, and the only one who'd completed the advanced urban sniper course with a perfect score. Her mission was simple in concept, brutally difficult in execution. Observe the enemy compound, document their patterns, identify high-value targets, and when the time was right, eliminate the compound's commander to disrupt enemy operations in the sector. She'd infiltrated 3 days ago with her spotter, Corporal Mike Chen, who was currently positioned 200 meters to her left in a secondary hide. They'd established 2 positions, so if one was compromised, the other could provide cover and security. Ghost 3, this is Ghost 3 Alpha, Chen's voice whispered through her earpiece. Sun's down. Time for you to stretch. Copy, Talia whispered back. Initiating position shift. Very slowly, every movement calculated and controlled, she adjusted her position. Not standing up or leaving her hide, just shifting from one carefully arranged position to another that would allow blood flow to return to compressed muscles while maintaining her concealment. Her rifle, a custom M40A6 with a suppressor and night-capable optics, remained trained on the compound. Even during position shifts, her weapon never left her target area. Through her scope, she could see the compound clearly even in fading light. It was a fortified structure that the enemy had been using as a regional headquarters. High walls, guard towers, multiple buildings inside the perimeter. Intelligence said the enemy commander was inside, planning operations that had killed American and Allied forces across the sector. But what caught Talia's attention wasn't the compound itself, it was the sniper positions. 7 of them, positioned on elevated points surrounding the compound. Not random guards, but professional marksmen with quality equipment and clear sectors of fire. They rotated every 6 hours, maintained noise discipline, used proper concealment techniques. Someone had trained them well. "Chen, you seeing these sniper positions?" Talia whispered. "Roger. Counted 7 total. They've got overlapping coverage on all approaches. This place is locked down tight." Talia studied each position through her scope, memorizing every detail. The hides were well constructed, natural materials, good concealment, positions that maximized visibility while minimizing exposure. Professional work. "These aren't local militia," she observed. "These are trained snipers. Someone brought in specialists to protect this compound. Makes sense if their commander's inside. They're not taking chances." Over the next 2 days, Talia documented everything about those sniper positions. Which ones had the best fields of fire? Which ones were rotated more frequently, suggesting they were priority positions? Which snipers were most alert, and which ones got complacent during their shifts? She watched them through every rotation, learning their patterns, their weaknesses, their blind spots. She didn't know why she was gathering such detailed intelligence on the snipers. Her mission was to eliminate the compound commander, not engage the security elements. But Talia had learned that the more you knew about a battlefield, the more options you had when situations changed. And situations always changed. The SEAL team arrives. On the 3rd night, Talia was conducting her evening observation when Chen's voice came through with urgency that wasn't normal for him. "Ghost 3, I've got movement. American operators, looks like SEAL team, approaching from the North Valley." Talia shifted her scope to the location Chen indicated and felt something cold settle in her stomach. 8 operators in full tactical gear, moving with professional fieldcraft toward the compound. They were heading straight into the sniper kill zones. "Chen, are they on any frequency we can reach?" "Scanning now. Got them. They're using standard JSOC tactical net. Should I make contact?" "Negative. Let me monitor first." Talia switched her radio to the frequency Chen provided and listened. The SEAL team was conducting final approach reconnaissance, moving to an observation point that would give them eyes on the compound. Then she heard the team leader, Morrison, based on his call sign, report what he was seeing. 7 sniper positions, all elevated, overlapping fields of fire. Talia had been watching those positions for 3 days. She knew every angle, every blind spot, every rotation schedule. And she knew that if those SEALs tried to approach the compound with those snipers active, it would be a bloodbath. She listened as Morrison reported to command that the mission was compromised, heard the resignation in his voice, the recognition that his team couldn't complete their objective. Talia looked through her scope at the 7 sniper positions she'd been studying for 3 days, looked at the SEAL team pinned in the valley below, made a tactical calculation that took about 3 seconds. Then she keyed her radio to the SEAL frequency. "Reaper 1, this is Ghost 3. I've got eyes on all 7 sniper positions. Give me 12 minutes and the path will be clear." There was a pause. Then Morrison's voice, skeptical but professional. "Ghost 3, who is this?" Before Talia could respond, command cut in. "Reaper 1, stand by and let Ghost 3 work. Ghost 3, you are cleared to engage. Make it clean." Morrison acknowledged, though Talia could hear the confusion in his voice. The SEAL team probably thought she was some classified asset they hadn't been briefed on. Delta CIA, some special access program. They had no idea she was a Marine Scout sniper who just happened to be in the right place at the right time with 3 days of intelligence on every target they needed eliminated. "Chen," Talia whispered to her spotter. "I'm going to clear those 7 sniper positions. You maintain security and be ready to provide support if this goes sideways." "Copy. Want me to call this in to our command?" "Not yet. Let's see if I can actually pull this off first." Talia settled into her rifle, her breathing controlled and steady. 7 targets, 12 minutes, at ranges between 600 and 1,100 meters, each one a trained sniper who would alert the others the moment they suspected something was wrong. This was going to require every bit of skill she'd developed over 8 years of professional marksmanship. She started with the math: 7 shots, 12 minutes. Target selection in a multi-engagement scenario isn't random. It's a carefully calculated sequence based on threat level, probability of detection, and the domino effect of each elimination. Talia studied her targets through her scope, running calculations that had become second nature after thousands of hours of training. Target 1, sniper position. 3, elevation 1,450 meters on the eastern ridge. This sniper had the best visibility of the other positions. If she took him out first, the others would have one less set of eyes potentially catching her muzzle flash or spotting scope glint. Range 847 meters. Wind 3 to 5 miles per hour from the west. Temperature cooling rapidly as night fell, which would affect bullet trajectory. Talia adjusted her scope, compensated for all variables, controlled her breathing, and found the natural pause between heartbeats. The M40A6 coughed, a suppressed sound that was more like a heavy breath than a gunshot. The recoil was familiar, comfortable. Through her scope, she watched the bullet travel across 847 meters in just over a second. The enemy sniper in position 3 dropped without a sound, killed so quickly he never had a chance to alert anyone. Time elapsed, 1 minute. Talia immediately worked her bolt, smooth, practiced, automatic, chambering a new round. She didn't celebrate or even acknowledge the kill, just moved to the next target. Target 2, position 7, western ridge, 923 meters. This sniper had the best angle on the SEAL team's most likely infiltration route. Taking him out second would open up that approach vector. Different wind conditions on the western ridge, the compound created a microclimate that affected wind patterns. Talia had been watching these effects for 3 days and adjusted accordingly. She fired. Target 2 dropped. Time elapsed, 2 minutes, 15 seconds. The other 5 snipers hadn't reacted. 2 of their colleagues were dead, and they had no idea anything was wrong. Target 3. Position 5, northern tower, 654 meters, closest position to Talia's hide, which made him potentially the most dangerous if he happened to spot her scope glint or muzzle flash. Shorter range meant less time for environmental factors to affect the shot, but the tower position gave him elevation advantage. Talia compensated for the upward angle and fired. Target 3 fell forward over his rifle, appearing to observers like he'd simply dozed off on watch. Time elapsed, 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Target 4. Position 2, southern ridge, 1,089 meters. This was a longer shot near the maximum effective range of her rifle in current conditions. But the sniper in position 2 was the one she'd observed being most alert, most professional. He'd be the hardest to eliminate without detection. The wind had shifted. Talia felt it on her face before her instruments confirmed it. She adjusted her hold, compensated for the increased range, and fired. Through her scope, she watched the bullet arc across more than a kilometer, watched it drop slightly as gravity pulled it down, watched it strike exactly where she'd aimed. Target 4 slumped in his position, rifle sliding from nerveless fingers. Time elapsed, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 3 positions left. Talia was halfway through her engagement, and not one enemy sniper had suspected they were under attack. Target 5. Position 6, eastern approach, 789 meters. This sniper had the best visibility of the compound's main entrance. Eliminating him would open the SEAL's primary infiltration route. But Position 6 was constructed differently than the others, more enclosed, better concealment. Talia could see the sniper's head and shoulders, but it was a smaller target window. She waited, patient, watching through her scope. The sniper shifted, adjusting his position, and for 3 seconds his profile was fully visible. Talia fired. Target 5 never knew what killed him. Time elapsed, 7 minutes, 20 seconds. 2 positions left, position 1 and position 4, both on the northern approach. Target 6, position 1, 712 meters. The sniper in this position was facing away from Talia's hide, looking toward the valley where the SEAL team was positioned. A perfect angle for Talia, but also the position most likely to see the SEALs if they started their infiltration before she finished. Talia fired without hesitation. Target 6 collapsed forward, his rifle clattering off the edge of his position and falling 10 feet to the ground below. Time elapsed, 9 minutes, 10 seconds. 1 target left. Target 7, position 4, 968 meters, elevated position with partial concealment behind fortified sandbags. The hardest shot she'd saved for last, not because she was confident, but because this was the position she'd observed having the most irregular rotation schedule. If something went wrong and she had to break contact, this one could wait. But she was 9 minutes in with 0 detection. Time to finish the job. The sniper in position 4 was good. Really good. He maintained excellent noise and light discipline, moved minimally, and seemed to understand how to use his position's concealment to maximum advantage. Talia watched him through her scope, looking for the shot. His head was barely visible above the sandbags, and he was positioned in shadows that made ranging difficult. She waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes, time elapsed, 11 minutes. Then the sniper shifted, just slightly adjusting his scope, and gave her a 3-second window where his head and upper chest were exposed. Talia took the shot. The suppressed rifle coughed one final time. Across 968 meters of night air, the bullet found its target with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel. Target 7 fell backward, disappearing behind his sandbags. Time elapsed, 11 minutes, 47 seconds. 7 enemy snipers, 7 precision shots, all eliminated in under 12 minutes with 0 detection by enemy forces. Talia worked her bolt one last time, chambering a fresh round, and keyed her radio to the SEAL frequency. Reaper 1, Ghost 3, all 7 positions neutralized. You're clear to proceed. I'll maintain overwatch. The infiltration Morrison had been watching through his scope, though he couldn't actually see Ghost 3's position or most of the sniper hides. What he could see were the results. Enemy snipers who stopped moving, stopped scanning, stopped being threats. Reaper 1 copies, he transmitted, his voice carrying a mix of professional respect and genuine amazement. That was the most impressive sniper work I've ever seen. Ghost 3, what's your position? Elevated hide, northwest of your position. I'll stay quiet and invisible. You do your job, I'll do mine. Morrison looked at his team. 8 SEALs who'd just watched someone they couldn't see eliminate 7 enemy snipers in less time than it took to plan a single engagement. All right, people, Morrison said. We've got a clear path. Let's not waste Ghost 3's work. Standard infiltration, quiet approach. We get in, grab the package, and get out before anyone knows we were here. The SEAL team moved with professional efficiency, using the route that Talia's elimination of Position 6 had opened. They crossed the valley in 4 minutes, reached the compound wall, and began their infiltration. From her hide, Talia watched through her scope, her rifle tracking across potential threats. She'd eliminated the sniper threat, but there were still guards, patrols, and quick reaction forces inside the compound. Ghost 3, Reaper 1, we're at the inner wall, moving to the intelligence vault now. Copy. You've got 2 guards on your 6 inside the compound. Haven't spotted you yet, but they're moving your direction. Can you engage? Talia looked through her scope at the 2 guards. Range was 1,015 meters, and they were behind the compound wall. She could see them through a gap in the fortifications, but it was a narrow window. I can engage, but it'll alert the compound. How close are you to the package? 30 seconds. Then move fast. I'll wait until you have it, then buy you time to extract. She watched the SEAL team work. They were good. Really good. Within 20 seconds, they'd breached the vault, and Morrison's voice came back. Package secured. We're moving to extract. That's when everything went wrong. An enemy patrol stumbled across the SEAL team's entry point. Alarms started blaring. Lights flooded the compound. Enemy forces began pouring out of barracks, weapons ready. "Reaper 1, we're compromised!" Morrison's voice was calm despite the chaos Talia could hear in the background. "Fighting our way to alternate extraction point." Talia watched through her scope as the SEAL team engaged the enemy in close-quarters combat. They were outnumbered at least 10-1, fighting their way through a compound that had transformed from sleeping garrison to active battlefield in seconds. "Chen," Talia called to her spotter, "I'm going to provide overwatch for their extraction. Mark targets." "Copy. I've got at least 40 enemy combatants converging on their position. 40 enemies, 8 SEALs, and 1 sniper 1,000 meters away who could start evening those odds." Talia settled into her rifle and went to work. Overwatch fire. The enemy forces were converging on the SEAL team from multiple directions, standard tactics for repelling a raid. But they were moving through open ground that Talia had clear sightlines on. Her first target was an enemy officer directing troops toward the SEAL position. Talia put a round through his chest at 934 meters, and his command structure immediately collapsed into confusion. She worked her bolt, acquired a new target, a machine gunner setting up to suppress the SEALs. Range, 1,087 meters. The machine gunner dropped before he could fire a single round. "Ghost 3, Reaper 1, we're taking heavy fire from the eastern courtyard." Talia shifted her scope to the eastern courtyard and found 6 enemy fighters using cover to shoot at the SEAL team. She engaged them systematically. 1 shot, work the bolt, next target, work the bolt. 4 targets down in under 20 seconds. The other 2 realized they were being engaged from an external position and tried to find cover. Talia tracked one as he ran and fired. He dropped mid-stride. The last fighter made it to cover, but Talia waited. Patient. Watching. When he leaned out to fire at the SEALs, she had a 2-second window. She took it. Target eliminated. "Chen, give me targets. Priority to anyone with heavy weapons or anyone coordinating the response." "Roger. I've got an RPG team. Northern Wall. They're setting up to engage the SEALs at the extraction point." Talia found them through her scope. 2 fighters with an RPG, rocket-propelled grenade, that could devastate the lightly armored vehicles the SEALs would use for extraction. She engaged the gunner first. 1 shot, 896 meters. The gunner fell. The loader looked around frantically, trying to figure out where the fire was coming from. Talia fired again. The loader dropped and the RPG clattered to the ground unfired. "Reaper 1, Ghost 3, your extraction route is clear of heavy weapons. You've got maybe 20 more enemy combatants, but they're disorganized and taking casualties." "Copy, Ghost 3. We're moving now. And hey, you just saved our asses. Again." Talia continued providing overwatch as the SEAL team fought their way to the extraction point. Every time enemy forces tried to organize a coordinated response, she eliminated whoever was trying to coordinate them. Every time someone with a heavy weapon appeared, she engaged before they could fire. She was burning through ammunition faster than she'd planned. Her loadout was designed for precision work against limited targets, not sustained overwatch fire. But she couldn't let the SEAL team get overrun after they'd risked everything to complete this mission. "Ghost 3, Reaper 1, we're at extraction. Birds are inbound. We're clear." "Copy, get out of here. I'll stay on overwatch until you're in the air." "Negative, Ghost 3. You're coming with us. Give me your coordinates and we'll pick you up." Talia looked at her hide position, at the 3 days of careful preparation that concealed her, at Chen's position 200 meters away. "Negative, Reaper 1. I've got my own extraction plan. Besides, if I break concealment now, every enemy fighter in that compound will know exactly where I've been shooting from. Better if I stay invisible." "Ghost 3, get your people out, Commander. That's an order from someone who technically outranks field operations. Go." She could hear Morrison's frustration, but also his understanding. Extraction helicopters were arriving, their rotors audible even from Talia's position. The SEAL team was boarding. The mission was complete. "Ghost 3, when we get back, I'm finding out who you are and I'm buying you a very expensive drink. I'll hold you to that. Reaper 1, safe travels. Ghost 3 is going dark." Talia watched through her scope as the helicopters lifted off with the SEAL team aboard. Watched them bank hard and accelerate toward friendly territory. Watched them disappear into the night. Then she looked at the compound below, now fully alert, enemy forces searching for the sniper who'd killed so many of them but left no trace of her location. "Chen, we're staying put for another 24 hours. Let them search. Let them wonder. When they give up and stand down, we'll exfiltrate." Copy. That was incredible shooting, by the way. 7 snipers, then sustained overwatch. I counted 19 additional enemy KIA from your position. Just doing the job. Now let's stay invisible and survive to do it again. The debrief. 2 days later, Talia and Chen were back at their forward operating base, exhausted, dirty, and very much alive. They'd maintained their hide positions for 30 hours after the SEAL extraction, watching the enemy compound search frantically for a sniper position they never found. When the enemy finally gave up and stood down, Talia and Chen had exfiltrated, using a route they'd planned before the mission even started, a route that took them through terrain the enemy couldn't monitor and brought them to an extraction point 12 kilometers from their hide. "Staff Sergeant Cooper, Corporal Chen, welcome back," Major Sarah Hendricks said when they arrived at the operations center. "I understand you had an interesting few days." "Yes, ma'am," Talia replied, sitting down for what she knew would be an extensive debrief. "We completed our primary mission, documented enemy command patterns, identified high-value targets. Then we kind of got involved in someone else's mission." "Kind of?" Hendricks pulled up a report on her screen. According to SEAL Team 7's after-action report, Ghost 3, that's you, eliminated 7 enemy snipers in 12 minutes, then provided sustained overwatch fire that eliminated an additional 19 enemy combatants, directly enabling their mission success when they'd been about to abort due to overwhelming enemy defensive positions. "We were in position. We had the intelligence. Seemed like a shame to waste it." Hendricks studied Talia with the expression of an officer trying to decide whether to commend someone or discipline them for improvising beyond mission parameters. "Staff Sergeant, you took it upon yourself to engage 26 enemy combatants, reveal your presence to compromise your hide position, and directly support a classified operation you weren't briefed on or authorized to assist with." Talia met her commander's eyes. "Yes, ma'am, that's accurate. And in doing so, you enabled a SEAL team to extract critical intelligence that has already led to 3 successful operations against enemy leadership, intel that would have been lost if that SEAL team had been forced to abort." "Yes, ma'am." Hendricks paused, then smiled. "That was exceptional work, Staff Sergeant. Exactly the kind of initiative we need from our scout snipers. The SEAL team commander specifically requested to thank you personally, and SOCOM is putting you in for a commendation." "Thank you, ma'am. But Chen deserves equal credit. His spotting and security work was flawless. Already noted in my report, you're both getting recognized." 3 days later, Talia was summoned to a meeting she hadn't expected. In a secure briefing room sat Lieutenant Commander Jake Morrison and 3 of his SEAL team members. "Staff Sergeant Cooper," Morrison said, standing to shake her hand. "Reaper 1, also known as the guy whose ass you saved twice in one night." "Commander, good to see you made it home." "Thanks to you. I've been doing this job for 12 years. I've worked with some of the best snipers in the world. What you did, 7 targets in 12 minutes, then sustained overwatch fire at ranges exceeding 1,000 meters. That's the most impressive marksmanship I've ever witnessed." "Just doing my job, sir." "That wasn't just your job. That was you recognizing a tactical problem, solving it with precision and skill, and then continuing to provide support beyond any reasonable expectation. The intelligence we extracted from that compound has already saved American lives. You made that possible." One of the other SEALs, Chief Petty Officer Marcus Webb, added, "Ma'am, we thought you were some secret Delta operator or classified asset. Finding out you're a Marine Scout sniper who just happened to be in the right place with the right skills, that's even more impressive." Talia smiled slightly. "Sometimes being in the right place at the right time is 90% of the job." "No, ma'am," Morrison corrected. "Having the skills and the courage to act when you're in that right place, that's the job. And you did it perfectly." 6 months later. The award ceremony was small and classified. The mission details couldn't be disclosed publicly, but the recognition could still be given to those who'd earned it. Talia stood at attention as Major General Robert Cartwright pinned the Silver Star on her uniform, the third highest military decoration for valor, awarded for gallantry in action. Staff Sergeant Cooper's actions directly enabled a critical intelligence operation and saved the lives of 8 American Special Operations personnel. Through exceptional marksmanship and tactical decision-making, she eliminated 26 enemy combatants across ranges exceeding 1,000 meters while under indirect fire. Her actions exemplify the highest standards of military service. When the ceremony ended and the general had departed, Morrison approached Talia one more time. "You know," he said, "SEAL Team 7 has an opening for a liaison position with Marine Scout sniper units. Someone who understands both sniper operations and joint special operations. Someone who's proven they can perform under pressure. Interested?" Talia considered it. The position would mean more joint operations, more complex missions, more opportunities to work with units like Morrison's. "Will there be more situations where I'm 1,000 meters away eliminating threats while SEALs do the hard work up close?" Morrison grinned. "Absolutely." "Then yes, sir, I'm interested." "Outstanding. Welcome to the team, Ghost 3. Something tells me we're going to work very well together." 2 years later. The legend. The story of Ghost 3 became one of those legends that gets told in sniper training courses, in SEAL team briefings, in special operations community gatherings where professionals share stories about the impossible becoming possible. 7 enemy snipers eliminated in 12 minutes. Not one of them ever knew they were being hunted until it was too late. Then sustained overwatch fire that turned a compromised mission into a successful intelligence operation. Talia Cooper, now Gunnery Sergeant Cooper after a rapid promotion, continued to operate in joint special operations missions. She'd participated in 15 major operations, providing sniper support for SEAL teams, Delta Force units, and CIA Special Activities divisions. Her official kill count was classified, but people who worked with her knew it was substantial. More importantly, her presence on a mission meant that friendly forces had overwatch from someone who could make shots that shouldn't be possible and solve problems that shouldn't be solvable. But Talia never let the legend define her. She remained focused on the fundamentals: precision, patience, practice. She trained constantly, shared her knowledge with younger snipers, and approached every mission with the same methodical preparation that had made her successful. "You know what the secret is?" she told a group of Scout sniper students during a guest lecture. "It's not about making impossible shots. It's about preparing so well that impossible shots become routine. About studying your environment so thoroughly that you know it better than anyone else. About staying patient when everything tells you to rush and acting decisively when everyone tells you to wait." Those 7 snipers I eliminated, the ones everyone asks about, that wasn't luck or exceptional skill. That was 3 days of observation, documentation, and preparation. When the moment came to act, I already knew every angle, every range, every variable. I'd been preparing for that engagement for 72 hours without knowing it would happen. One student raised his hand. "Gunnery Sergeant, how do you stay calm during an engagement like that? 7 targets, 12 minutes, SEALs depending on you?" Talia considered the question. "You stay calm by trusting your preparation, by knowing that you've done everything possible to be ready for this moment, by focusing on the process rather than the outcome." I wasn't thinking about all 7 targets at once. I was thinking about target 1, then target 2, then target 3. One shot at a time, one problem at a time. And honestly, I was terrified. My hands were shaking when I took that first shot, but I'd trained through fear so many times that it didn't affect my shooting. Fear is just information. It tells you the situation is serious, but it doesn't have to control your actions. The students absorbed this, the understanding that even legendary snipers feel fear, feel pressure, feel doubt. The difference is what you do with those feelings. Present day. Still operating. Master Sergeant Talia Cooper looked through her scope at a compound 800 meters away. Different country, different mission, same fundamental challenge. precision fire, in support of operators who needed someone watching their backs. Beside her, a new spotter, Corporal Lisa Martinez, was conducting range calculations and environmental assessments. "Wind's picking up," Martinez observed. 3 to 5 from the west, gusting. "Good spot. Adjust holds accordingly." They'd been in position for 2 days, documenting enemy patterns, preparing for a mission that would happen tonight. And just like that night 2 years ago, Talia knew that when the moment came to act, she'd be ready. Because that's what she did. That's who she was. Not Ghost 3, the legend from the stories. Just Talia Cooper, a Marine Scout sniper who believed in preparation, precision, and never letting down the people depending on her. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to hear more powerful stories of brave women in uniform.